The one thing I don't like about Tom Brady, I mentioned he's better than Aaron Rodgers. And I think it's really, I was talking about it with Vish the other day. What makes Brady better than Rodgers? And I'll briefly go through it. I don't want to recap the whole thing, but briefly. Go away. I'll get you later. I don't have time for this. All right. He can't move like Rodgers. Rodgers has the elite skill set. He's got probably a stronger arm, a quicker release, better mobility. He's what you want, the more gifted quarterback. But Tom Brady, to me, is just, first of all, the situational football. He's like the smartest game manager in the world. Has a better feel, mastery of what to do in each situation than anyone in the world. Better than Rodgers, better than any coach, better than Belichick. He is a master. I always feel like Tom Brady is 2-3 steps ahead of what it takes to win the game, not just on offense, but the whole team. He's the head coach. And even when he commits a turnover, when he throws a pick, it's almost like he minimized the risk of it. Like it's a punt, it's down the field. Did the Packers ever score off of one of his turnovers? There's something about the way that he really is a coach on the field. He's a coach on the field in a way that I've never seen, at least in the modern era, from a quarterback, beyond Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was an offensive coordinator on the field. Tom Brady is a head coach, and I think he's the best head coach of the league. He made Josh McDaniels look like a genius. He made Bill Belichick look better than Bill Walsh. He's not built better than Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh developed 2 quarterbacks. Let's see Bill Belichick do that. Bill Belichick lucked into Brady. Brady got a lot of people paid. Now Brady's making Bruce Arians look like a genius. And Arians is saying like, hey, don't give me credit. I'm just watching. I got a good seat too. So Brady's got all that stuff. And I'm not taking shots at Rodgers because it's not that Rodgers isn't a great game manager. There's never ever been anyone like Brady. He is a savant. But the one thing I don't like about Tom Brady, he's a freaking sore loser, and I don't like it. It bothers me. Every time he finishes a game, I watch to see what he does. And when he wins, which is most of the time, he smiles and he's presidential and he walks over to the losing quarterback who's like 15 years younger than him and he gives him a little pat in the head and whispers, good effort, he's real gracious then. But when he loses, he's gone. He just out. Doesn't say, remember when he lost to Chicago this year? He didn't say a word to Nick Foles, who had beaten him in a Super Bowl. One of 2 guys who's beaten that guy in a Super Bowl. He just leaves. You're supposed to have respect for the game. And I think part of what makes Brady different than Rodgers is his crazy, maniacal drive to prove himself. Because like I mentioned with Rodgers was just the 26th pick. Brady was the 6th round pick. Rodgers had to go to Chico, but when he went to Cal, he was a hot shot, big time recruit. Brady was like the 7th on the depth chart when he got to Michigan. He's had a way more difficult path to where he's gotten. And I think the chip on his shoulder is way bigger than people realize, and Rodgers can't even really compare. I'm not excusing Brady's bad behavior, but I think there is something almost that drives him that prevents him from being human. And I don't like that. Yes, the Niners should have had him, but every time he is ungracious after a loss, I think that speaks poorly of him. Part of being a competitor is that. It's not just how you played in the game, but it's how you acted after. It's all part of competition. And one of the things that's so charming about hockey is it's like the most physical game. They hit each other and then they do fist fights. There's no fist fights in football. They throw their gloves down and punch each other in the jaw, and they're allowed to keep fighting until one guy falls. That's hockey. But then after all of that, at the end of the game, they get up in a line and actually shake everyone's hand. I like that. And in football, they do that too. Most of the players, after they spent the entire game hitting each other, knocking each other out, talking trash, hug each other, pray together, exchange jerseys. It's wonderful. It's one of the nice things about competition. It's like you can turn it on and off. You can compartmentalize it. On the field, you're my enemy. As soon as the buzzer sounds, We're pros, we're humans, and we're role models. I admire it. And with Tom Brady doesn't have that, I don't like it. Maybe Michael Jordan didn't have it either. I don't like that. I just don't like it. Do better. That's all I'm saying. If I were here, if my dad could have been much more eloquent about that, you know what I'm saying? So how do I tie that into the Niners? Oh, Kyle Shanahan wouldn't show someone up like that. Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't show someone up like that. The Niners aren't sore losers. Now, they'll tell themselves that they didn't mean to lose, but they show respect to the opponent. You know who didn't show respect to the opponent? Jim Harbaugh. That thing he did in Detroit to Jim Schwartz was like, it was like what? Harbaugh's 5th win in the NFL. Like, he just got there. He beat Detroit in Detroit. He runs across the field, barely makes eye contact with Schwartz, like slaps him in the back and runs past him like, peace. Schwartz had every right to be angry. Schwartz did look ridiculous because he was smaller than Harbaugh and chasing Harbaugh, and he had just lost. But in retrospect, I'd have been just as mad at Harbaugh, and I probably would have chased after him too and looked ridiculous. But Harbaugh was wrong. You don't act like that. It's not. I don't know what the word is, but it doesn't make you a better competitor to pout afterward. It just makes you basically stuck in adolescence. And Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, who's 43 years old, is basically still 13. Basically a 7th grader who's the best at Madden. And when he loses, he kicks the game, punches the TV, and walks home crying. Dang, Tom, do better.